Welcome back to the group chat.
Nathan Marshall with the Crusaders. Yep. Scott Robinson. Yep. Scott Robinson.
Close. Rip straight off.
Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva. Bro.
Welcome back to the group chat for another episode. It is Thursday, the day after State of Origin Game 2. So we're going to recap that, Phil, first and foremost, but it is our odds-on edition. So we're going to be having a couple of punts as well. Looking forward to the weekend. Super Rugby finals, Wars, Panthers. Plenty going on. What's tickling you, Phil?
State of Origin Game 2. Still tickling me.
Yeah, fair.
I finished at, midnight? So it's been about 10 hours now since then. But
she's pretty fresh, yeah.
It was massive. Such a good game. Rain was pouring down. Everyone thought it was going to be a big forwards matchup.
Yeah.
Wings weren't going to score. It was wings galore.
Yeah.
Brian To'o hat-trick. Far out. Queensland, coming in 26-6 at halftime. Blues, insane in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Queensland allowed them to get that close is insane.
Yeah.
Actually, outscoring Queensland as well. 5 tries to 4. The kicking, letting them down.
Yeah.
2 from 5, not good enough. And really that penalty from Valentine Holmes being the difference. In fact, penalties in general in that first half.
What was the count? 6-0 in the first half?
I think it was 8-0 in the first half.
Yeah, did it finish something like 10-2?
Ended up being 10-2.
Yeah.
Which is massive. I mean, when you look at the penalties conceded compared to the ruck infringements, Queensland committing 5-2.
Yeah.
Some serious business going on there. But huge. Queensland much better, much improved. And just a good game all round. Loved it.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you for your initial reactions, but we've got that. My first ones were like, the hammer is a freak. His second try he scored, get up there. We were talking about athletes on Tuesday. That's an athletic beast right there, the hammer.
Smart play too. To kind of have Xavier Coates and Hammer swap wings.
Yeah.
You thought that was a defensive play for Zach Lomax, considering he scored, was it a hat-trick in game one or a double in game one? So, but it was actually an attacking benefit as well. Hammer on the wing rather than the centre as well.
Yeah.
Much better. I prefer Valentine Holmes in that centre.
Yeah.
I think he is the better centre. It's like Rieko Ioane. You want Rieko Ioane on the wing, and looks what happens when you put Hammer on the wing. Fat, athletic double try.
Yes.
So worked out both defensively and attack and on the attack as well for them. So
yeah, so that was my number one. But then the other wing, you said Zach Lomax had the hat-trick in game 1. Bizarre. Hat-trick in game 2, baby. That boy's a wrecking ball too. I mean, we all know he can score tries. He's got 9 in Origin now, in the Origin arena. So those were the first two. Second takeaway was it was a much more intense physical game. Yep. I don't know if it was the atmosphere with the rain, the crowd. The crowd was good for the capital of Western Australia.
Yeah.
But it was just a much more intense game that you want Origin to be. It felt like a more Origin game than game 1 did.
I think as well the series was on the line for that game. And then you also include Luai.
Yeah.
I love Luai, but he's a grub.
Oh,
Sure,
yes.
the eye gouging, that's always going to get people fired up.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved everything about that. In terms of not quite Biff level, but the aggression was definitely there, and also good for the Blues coming into that second half to actually show some grit and want to get back into that game when you're down 20 points.
Yeah, exactly. And you said Luai. Luai's an absolute genius.
Yeah.
Putting it on the left peg, 2 try assists there. I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday again. Him coming in to the squad, it was probably really the only choice. And he made the most of it.
I tell you what, though, Burton bombs.
Yes.
For that game would have been incredible as well.
It would have been. He's kind of gone away from the bombs though this year, isn't he?
I won't say he's gone away from it, but you never really expect them to pop up, and that's why he's so good. But Luai, you want that grub factor, and also I think there seemed to be a bit of, around Bizza being injured and his hamstring. Well, it actually looks like Cleary's injured.
Cleary,
his leg is not looking good, and also actually. Luai, they had a rough start to the game. Luai's first kick going out on the full, and you go,
oh boy, we're in for it.
But then,
Well, to be fair, they had a rough first half. Queensland just dominated the physical aspect. Apart from that first try.
And you have, repeated 6 agains. It's a tough job to get into the game as well. But Queensland were all over it, for sure.
Yeah. Some of those hits, though, like I just said, the intensity level was there. Harry Grant with his headgear on, the white headgear. I mean, you said he made the most tackles in the game out of all the players, so unbelievable him to make those tackles. But some of the hits he was taking, I thought the ball was popping out. But no, it's just him and his headgear flying 5 yards backwards.
When Uta Kamanu came on and just sent him back 10 metres.
Yeah.
World class. Also, the head-ups between Big Spence and Lindsay Collins was a highlight as well.
Yeah.
Love seeing that.
So the first thing I did when I woke up this morning was jump on Facebook and have a look at the comments on the article yesterday. Is it time to replace Queensland, State of Origin? So this was ahead of game too. Just taking the piss out of Queenslanders, looking for replacements. We had the Kiwis, a Victorian side, the Pacific Islanders. We put the Philadelphia Eagles in there, Jordan Mailata, Sydney Connection. We had the Wigan Warriors because they're just grubby grubsters.
Super League is full of it.
So, and the first thing I did was go to the comment section of that and just got absolutely obliterated by Queenslanders. It was pretty funny. It's a good read.
Yeah.
Some people calling for the firing of whoever wrote the article, and it's all fun and games.
Who wrote that article?
Yeah. What kind of... Someone was like, who writes this shiz? Up the Blues. Let's go. So that made me laugh. It was a good get up this morning.
Sheesh.
The other part of it was obviously the hosted pot too, that Jay and Dunk from the Rock had going. I didn't see what it closed at, but somewhere around 9K.
I think so, yeah.
Somewhere around 9K. They must have finished with about 4.5. So again,
get about half back.
No profit. Get about half back from your $10 buy-in, which again, $10 buy-in, I mean, it's just a bit of fun. You get some moments like the Angus Crichton try scorer at $4.60. Hammer scoring twice in the first half, 20 minutes. He was paying $2.70 to score, nailed that. Cam Munster, man of the match at $13 was a big
massive one. They had Munster to score as well in an SGM. I had Munster to score as well in SGM. Latrell Mitchell. I had Munster to score, Queensland to win.
Yeah.
Latrell Mitchell to score.
Yeah.
And he was just not in that game at all. He had some key moments actually in the second half, massive boot downfield and then huge strip. And that strip resulted in a try for the Blues. On the attack, it was all kind of on that right edge. Don't really know what Connor Watson was up to, actually, when he came on. Almost tried to overplay himself there a little bit, going back to the right edge when it's literally Dylan Edwards and Zach Lomax, not prepared for the ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you've got Luai and Isaiah Yeo screaming for the ball on the left.
Yeah.
That was crazy. As well as also selfishly taking it to the line the play before that. Connor Watson, what are you doing? He's usually really good. But then Kurt Capewar could have been man in the match. In my opinion, he had a massive game.
Unbelievable record.
Huge on the defense in the first half. Scored the try in the second. He was always in the mix. 4 tackle breaks, 11 hit-ups. What a beast. Obviously, they're going to give it to Munster. He's captain, whatever.
Yeah.
Harry Grant would have been up there too in terms of if you look at the point system and how that plays out. But Munster did have a good game after, although he did give away some silly errors or penalties. And, with the ruck infringements or not, playing offside, all that sort of stuff. But massive game for him as captain and silenced the DCE sort of talks, I think, for everyone. And obviously,
what do you make of Dearden?
Dearden was good. Dearden never shies away. He obviously set up that first try for Hammer as well.
Put that kick on the money.
It was on the money. And he's not afraid to attack the line either. So he's a solid replacement.
Yeah. No, I rated it. Going back to that Latrell, I thought he was a trap going into this game. I mean, everyone kind of talked about him going to dominate the matchup against Robert Toya. That's 2 games now Robert Toya's kind of locked him up on defense and not really had a sniff. So I just stayed away from him for the trap. Everyone wanted Trell again.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say him personally because I don't think it's worth it. If he gets over, great. Win your money, but I'm not going to win any money on him. I was going to leave it alone.
He was instrumental in the Brian To'o, at least 2 of those tries.
Oh, yeah.
Played the line beautifully, setting him up, 2 tries, just whatever.
Played his
but all
part,
the action is going to the edge.
Scoring.
I wouldn't say so much it's Robert Toya locking him up. I think it's Latrell distributing the ball. But obviously, maybe it is didn't want to attack Robert Toya. I mean, but also I thought Robert Toya was pretty quiet on his front as well.
But I mean, if you can, if that is his presence there, stopping Latrell, taking it to the line and actually trying to attack him, then he's kind of doing his job. Because if you can quiet down Latrell, that's a big win for Queensland. They can keep him quiet.
So who's not doing their job then? Xavier Coates? Defensively?
Maybe, yeah.
Exploited 3 times on the edge?
Yeah, probably. But it is good ball playing from Latrell. But in terms of him taking it to the line and playing that physical game and actually, trying to bust through the line.
No, that was Hammer's edge, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, you barely saw him. Apart from those assists and that one strip he had. I thought he had a very quiet game otherwise. But you can't expect him to always be there, I guess.
Yeah. When
you've got so many across the board, so many playmakers, so many big names. Don't know. And
then finally, last thing on Origin, I guess, was the Betcha Boosts. Both nearly came in. Queensland one came in through the Munster try. Cleary dotted down himself, calls back for obstruction. What do you make of that?
I don't think so.
I agree. Yeah.
Pat Carrigan's not getting to that.
Okay.
Was he impeded somewhat? Okay, yeah, sure. Yes. Is he making the tackle with hit that Tukamani's not there?
No. But it's the opportunity to attempt to tackle, right? Like
Nathan Cleary ran through 3 players before that moment. Pat Carrigan, you're not getting there, mate.
No, there was no chance he was getting. I get he didn't have the opportunity to attempt a tackle, so yes, but he was never in a million years going to make a tackle there. No. Going to stop Cleary.
I don't hate the penalty. I don't hate that it was disallowed. I just don't agree that Pat Carrigan's making that tackle was all.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Blues 2 from 5 on the conversions.
That's what.
And Zach Lomax had some nice kicks. He wasn't striking the ball badly.
No,
there was one he striked it dead on, hit the post like square.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It was almost too clean of a hit.
So, at the end of the day, Zach Lomax, Val Holmes, the difference makers. Val Holmes, perfect from the tee. Zach Lomax, 2 from what? 8? What was it? 2 from... What do you have? 2 from 5. 2 from 8 in the series, I think I saw. That was the number.
Oh, right, yeah.
And given away the penalty as well, which proved to be the costly 2 points.
I mean, Nathan Cleary also taken off T duty.
Trell Mick could kick. I mean, they've got to make a change for Game 3.
Well, they did. They made a change for Game 2 and gave it to Zach Lomax. I also think there's a play on that injury for Cleary that they didn't stick with him. And it's definitely not the ball. We know that now.
I think he just kind of got on his own head because he's pulled the first one. He's then pushed the second one. So he's not like... He is striking them well.
He got his first kick. It hit the post and went in.
Oh, yes. But like...
Also, they were all from the line.
Yeah, they weren't easy
apart
kicks.
Apart from the later ones.
They were by no means easy kicks. But then when you see Val Holmes step up and just nail them from the sideline, it's wow. That boy was getting it sweet. Anyway, let's move on to the weekend.
God.
Great game. Let's look forward to Game 3. We've got a decider. It's what we wanted. Save the spectacle. Down in Sydney. Super Rugby final. Chiefs in their 3rd consecutive one. They're going to have to go away from home to face the Crusaders down at Apollo Project Stadium, where the Crusaders are unbeaten. Can the Chiefs finally get over the line, Phil?
Where did they play then, where Chiefs beat the Crusaders this season?
Unbeaten at Apollo Projects in the playoffs.
I see.
They're now 31 games unbeaten.
Crazy stat. But
because the Chiefs are 2-0 against the Crusaders this year. They won both games.
Are they 2-0?
Yep.
Wow. Yes, of course. I was looking at the away fixtures. 35-19, 49-24.
Yeah.
Tasty treats.
As I
was going to say, if there's any team to break that record this season, it is probably the Chiefs. So we've probably ended up with the right final, in my opinion, which is fantastic. Now it's up to the Chiefs to get the job done, break the little curse they have going on at the moment in their finals. I just don't see how you top that Origin game too. Anyway, we move on. Tamati Williams comes back in for the Crusaders. That's massive. Ethan Blackadder still playing despite that little nasty cut he had against the Blues. And he was gashing.
Yeah.
That man was It was like Braveheart if Braveheart was painted red. Will Jordan had a massive game as well in that Blues matchup. And equally, though, Narawa last week, D-Mac last week.
I mean, but both teams are playing
Jacobson
very
last
good rugby
week.
and are kind of peaking at the right moments, you'd feel. So we've definitely got the best final you could ask for.
Yep.
I would agree there. Chiefs peaking, best team in the comp all season long. They deserve to be in the final. Crusaders probably playing the second best rugby of the lot. And I mean, it shows because the bookies couldn't split them. It's only just this morning that we've started to see the Chiefs come in a touch. Crusaders shift out a little bit.
Crusaders out to $2.
Yeah, I like it. I got on them actually. $2 seems like good stuff. Warriors Panthers this weekend as well. But Mount Smart, a depleted Panthers squad.
Warriors, big names missing.
Couple big names.
A lot of big names.
The Warriors are making history with the most double jointed, hyphenated last names as an NRL squad in a starting lineup.
Yeah, what is it, like 8?
Yeah, something like that. So,
well, not from the starting lineup, but the whole team that was named. There's about 8 hyphens in there.
Yeah.
That's world class.
We've got a bit of UFC fight night.
Indeed. In Baku.
What else is going on? British and Irish Lions tour kicks off. So they're coming down under to face Aussie. Now, we had a look at that squad and the team being named against Argentina on a Saturday night.
It kicks off this weekend.
Yeah, the game's this weekend against Argentina. So they'll go play Argentina. Then they're going to play all the Australian Super Rugby teams. And then they'll face Australia in July for a 3-match series.
$1.08 versus Argentina. Yep. 17.5. My goodness.
And we looked at that team. The starting 15 looks very strong. Because when you think 17.5 points, favourites against the Pumas, feels like a lot. But you look at that team,
on paper,
big. Looks very strong. You talked about that centre pairing straight away.
Yep, massive.
That's going to be enjoyable to watch. Game 6 in the basketball, OKC, Indiana, tomorrow. Hopefully we get to see Game 7 there. And then the other one out of America. Florida Panthers, are your Stanley Cup champions.
Hell yeah.
Back-to-back winning over the Edmonton Oilers for the second year in a row.
Mad.
The Cup stays in Florida. How good?
All right, well, who gets the Super Rugby Cup then? Where's that go?
I'm really torn. Because I think the Chiefs probably deserve to win it. But I don't know how I feel about saying I want the Chiefs to win. But I definitely don't know how I feel about saying the Crusaders to win. Because I've been taught to not like Cantabs from a very
Who do you
young
even
age.
support these days?
The Hurricanes.
Really?
Yes.
Fuck. I feel like you slated them all season.
Yeah.
Maybe because you just love them so much.
You have to slate your own team. Because you always want better for them.
Right. I guess that's like me with Markram, I guess.
Exactly.
And he scores 130. You go, yes, Markram. Love you, boy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Don't make me choose.
Chiefs. I'll choose. Chiefs. I'll choose for you.
Yeah, okay, nice. Should we get into our betting then?
Yeah.
All right. 50-22 versus 40-20. Phil, what do you got for us?
Chiefs to win. Narawa to score. Thanks for coming.
Is that my 50-22 for?
Yeah. I've done it for you. I'm doing a little double. Try score a double. We're hitting the Youngs. Dom Young returns for the Knights.
Okay. I see you.
At $2.30. And Hudson Young didn't have a lot of minutes in that State of O game. He's a beast. Having a good season. Also paying $2.30. The Young double. $2.30 a piece. $50 into $264.50.
Love it.
All the odds of $5.29.
Very nice.
Not bad. Good size.
Well, I'm going to obviously have to go for the Super Rugby final. So it's going to be a 2-leg same-game multi. And I got on it last night. We're seeing the points come in already, but under 50.5 for me. I think it's going to be tight. I mean, the Chiefs beat Crusaders twice in the season. Both games going over 50 points. But that's early in the year. Running rugby, summer footy. Now winter is here.
Yep.
Winter is coming. Winter is here. and it's going to go under. It's going to be a test match like footy game, physical, under, and I think it's going to be close as well. Either team. You asked me to choose. I'm not. Either team by less than 7.5. Close one. Gets you the odds of $4, $26, $50 into 213 for my 50-22. The final time in Super Rugby. Locks and our laughs.
Big sad.
What's your lock this weekend?
I'm doing the double again. Ooh. I did a double lock last week. I want to do a double lock this week. And I think Ryan Papp up against the Bunnies.
Yep.
He loves playing the Souths. So he's paying $1.72.
To score?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bound to happen.
Short odds there.
First scoring play in the Super Rugby final. I'm backing the Chiefs penalty. I do agree with you. It's going to be a tight game. Crusaders' defense has been on point. We saw that again against the Blues. And the Chiefs love scoring threes. They don't say no to 3 points. Depending on how the game's reffed, I can see a little bit of infringement going on here with Crusaders having to defend quite heavily.
Yeah.
Chiefs get a penalty. Mate, take the 3.
Yeah. Well, you've seen them take the 3 in their qualifying final against the Blues.
Yep.
And then they're taking it against the Brumbies last week. When it comes to playoff footy, they're happy to take 3. So.
They love racking up the points.
What does that get you then as a lock for your double, odds-wise? That seems to... Because the first scoring player as a penalty would be paying a decent amount, paired with Pappenhausen.
Let me check for you.
It must be around $4 for a lock. That's pretty good value.
We are here, match market, and we want first scoring team play.
What's that paying by itself? $2.80?
$2.80.
$2.80, okay.
$4.81.
Yeah, that's good value for a lock.
Indeed.
It's genius. My lock, I'm going to stick with some rugby league and a try score. It's just a DWZ to dot down in the corner. He's scored back-to-back games now. Back at home. Wow. I believe so. And I've been staying away from him. But now I'm on him, baby. And DWZ to dot down. He's only paying $1.62. $1.62 against this depleted Panthers.
Warriors $1.24.
Heavy favourites there. So yeah, him to dot down. What's your laugh for the weekend, Phil?
I think I'm doing an away dog special. The Sharks and the Cowboys, both to win.
Yeah, okay.
$7.28. Cowboys getting some names back, and I'm not convinced by that Broncos score they put up against the Titans. They've come off a bye week. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Sharks are 50-50. They had a good result last week. I backed them as underdogs.
Sharks are very 50-50.
Unless Broncos are playing in their All Blacks kit, which they're not. So
different gravy in their All Blacks kit.
Yeah, it's one and done.
Okay, so heavy on the NRL this week, which is fair.
As I usually am.
My laugh.
Club World Cup, Al Hilal and Real Madrid.
Yeah, let's take a draw.
Yeah.
Correct score, 1-1. Yeah, sweet. That Club World Cup going on, obviously, in front of
10 people.
Hundreds of thousands of empty seats. They've got an issue over there. Oh, well.
And it's up there with Champions League and FA Cup.
Oh, it's right up there.
It's up there.
In terms of the spectacle we're seeing.
Oh.
I mean, it's just great. It's great viewing. My laugh, and it's just kind of funny because it's Major League Cricket.
That is funny.
And it's
Major League Baseball.
Major League Cricket, baby. Texas Super Kings versus the San Francisco Unicorns. Now, I watched the first game of this.
Yep.
The first game of the season, San Francisco Unicorns versus Washington Freedom. And I watched Finn Allen score 150 off like 50 balls. The boundaries are short.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. It's fast, it's short, and it is made for runs to be scored. Glenn Maxwell has backed it up with 100 for the Washington Freedom. I'm going in this game between Texas Super Kings and the San Francisco Unicorns, 100 to be scored in the match at $6.75.
Oh, a player to score 100.
Yep.
Okay.
A century to be scored.
Yeah. Well, he scored 150, did you say?
Yep, 150. Highest score in Major League Cricket history. And then he parked up at the baseball 2 days later. So
he's probably like, yeah, I could score at least 150 home runs here.
I would love to
Small
see
pitch.
someone from the T20 circuit try and hit
Yeah, me too.
some homers.
I reckon it'd be quite hard to get your eye in the baseball.
Yeah.
But once you're in the knack, I reckon.
Because it's a shorter distance from the mound.
Yeah.
And they're throwing at 100 miles an hour fastball down the middle, which is about 155, 160 Ks if we're talking bowling.
So there's swivel, but there's no bounce to worry about.
Yes, but if that's just hitting
difference.
a straight fastball, I reckon if you have 10 swings at it, you might hit 3.
A professional batsman.
Maybe 5, and maybe get 1 or 2 sweetly. The more you do it, obviously, you're going to get better. I had to go at hitting some baseballs while I was away, just getting them lobbed. But it's pretty nice. Like, if you hit it sweetly, it comes off. So I reckon
that's the challenge.
You get 1 or 2 sweet out the barrel of a bat, you might. And some of those baseball fields are pretty short. You get the big ones, but some of them are. You don't have to hit it too far to clear, especially if you're right-handed hitting it to left field. So it's like you're playing a hook shot or a pull shot in cricket. Just swing for cow, bang, home run. Which Finn Allen, very good at. I'd like to see him try it.
Surely.
So anyway,
you're over there. What else are you doing apart from playing cricket and hitting sixes?
All right, so we move to our ladder challenge then.
Oh, shit. I hope you picked something because I didn't.
We're back to the bottom rung because
Atletico Madrid can't score from 1 centimetre in front of the goal.
Yeah, that was brutal. Anyway, we start back from 0, which means we've got $10 in the kitty.
Huge.
Now, the Betcha Boost cap out at $20. There's a Betcha Boost on the Wars game. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I don't mind because we can put a bet on it at $10. It's RTS to score first, second, or third at $4. What do you make of that?
At $4.
Yep.
Might as well. We're at the bottom.
So it's a good start.
It's a great start.
The other option is over 56.5 in the game of the Cats, Lions versus Pumas. British and Irish Lions. Looking at that squad, thinking about how Argentina play, at over 56.5 total points.
I mean, how long have the Lions been together? When the squad just announced?
That's the thing. I mean, it depends on
Argentina
how they come out and play
team?
rugby. Because we haven't seen them play.
I'm not confident backing that.
All right.
I type in Argentina squad and then it's just Messi's face. Awesome.
Messi. So does that mean we're running the bitch boost?
I guess so.
All right. Well, there's our answer. $10 on RTS, first, second, or third try score against the Panthers at Mount Smart on the weekend. $10 into 40. Let's climb the first rung.
Beautiful, surely.
Yo, beauty. All right. Well, that's a wrap on the odds-on edition, Phil.
Pablo Matera is playing.
Puma squad?
They're not rolling over, I'll tell you that much.
Nah, I think it'll be a good game.
They're not rolling
I probably
over.
won't be watching because it'll be on at some crazy hour of the morning.
Nope.
Really?
7
PM.
A. 7 a.m. Saturday.
Saturday
Lock
morning. Okay. So, yeah, 7 a.m. is some crazy hour of the morning. So
It is a hour of the morning.
Yes.
Indeed.
That's all we've got this week. So if you are going to have a punt, have some fun. Oh, I don't have a racing multi. Ah, well. Looks like we'll try again next week.
Have you seen the mismatch in the UFC Fight Night, just quickly?
Oh, no. Talk to me.
Rafael Fiziev versus Bahamondes. A meter 91 to a meter 73. The reach advantage, 191 to 181. Both somehow 70 kgs. It's going to be crazy. This is David Goliath levels.
Wow.
I can't wait to see it because Rafael Fiziev is stacked. And this guy, well, he's a bit of a sniper. Tall, lanky, you name it. And Fiziev at $2 is it's hard to look past. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now.
But you look at this guy's record.
Holy. Okay.
Bahamondes, he's won 17 fights and he's done 11 by KO. So this is going to be a fight to watch.
Him to win by KO, paying $550.
Who?
Bahamondes.
Obviously, Kelly Warrentree and Jamal Hill headlining that one.
Yeah.
Pretty decent for a fight night.
It is a
Can't
very
lie.
good fight night. And I just had a look. There is no Eagle Farm meeting this weekend, so we're safe. Can't do an Eagle Farm fill up for you. Sorry.
3.
Because it got you paid last week, didn't it? You took it as a place multi.
I did.
Came second, third. So yeah, placings. I had them all to win. Unfortunately, wasn't a Hail Mary to be. But if you are going to have a punt, follow along on our profiles. They'll be there. Make sure you have some fun. Do it responsibly. And we'll be back on Tuesday to review it all and do it all once again. See you then.